know, it just kind of fell in my lap. He was throwing that kick to my left side, and it kind of kept knocking me just a little bit off balance, and I just said hell with it and just spun through, and man, he walked right into it. I mean, you know, it was well timed, and his momentum kind of helped it out and knocked himself out, basically.
It seemed like for the whole fight, you were kind of walking him into there. You were kind of walking him into the danger zone, and it finally just took off on him.
Yeah, because you know what? We wanted to stand with him. We wanted to make him kickbox and box. I know he thinks he's been working on his boxing a whole lot, and I'm game for that. I'm from Philly. I mean, we're boxing too. I mean, you can see him with a little bit of my head movement in this fight. So I wanted him to walk into my knee. I mean, and you guys saw, I kept throwing that up there like, okay, go ahead, shoot whenever you want. I'm going to knee in the face. And then we've been working super defense is what we call it with Jafari and my wrestling coach up in New Mexico with Cowboy. We call it Super D, man. We work every day on wrestling defense so that when we face guys like Castillo who are tough, hard-nosed wrestlers, if my knees don't work, my strikes don't work, we know how to wrestle now too.
And what's it like, sparring with Cowboy? I know he gives you hell every day, and you bring that into the octagon tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I get worked, man. I honestly think he is at the moment the best lightweight, and he's gonna prove it tonight. He's gonna knock Miles out and move on up the ranks. So when you work with a guy with his caliber who wants you to be in his camp, who takes his time to bring me out there, and kind of like, be his training partner, just the confidence level. I mean, the other day at weigh-ins, he just looked at me. He's like, you belong here, right? And it just gives you that little bit of like, all right, if this guy thinks I belong here, maybe I do. And just went out there and had fun, man. I really did. Today I felt really relaxed, and I was fighting. Last fight, my debut, I was a little jittery. So, yeah.
Taking out a veteran like Danny, who's had over 20 fights in the Zuffa age, I mean, what does that feel like for you to remain undefeated and having gotten past somebody who's a veteran of the game?
I feel incredible right now. I honestly do feel like, okay, now I belong. I've gotten 2 out of the way, and I just want to keep going. I mean, I want to climb up these ranks. I'm not here to be like, man, I made it to the UFC. I want to be like, no, I made it to UFC, and I got to the top 10. Now that's my goal, is to get to the top 10, to maybe fight somebody that's a little higher up than even Danny is, and just whenever Dana White and Joe Sill give me the call, I'm there. I'll fight in Boston in 2 weeks if they need me to. I mean, this foot's a little swollen, but I still punch the guys. So,
do you think that you've solidified a bonus for tonight?
Man, I hope so. I have a baby girl on the way. My girlfriend's pregnant. It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday to my dad. So tonight we had a lot riding on it, and beating Danny was just what I needed, and getting a bonus would make my year.
I heard the South Philly kind of gave you your nickname, the Irish Dragon. Can you explain that story?
Well, I grew up in Grace Ferry, which is, like an Irish Catholic, working class neighborhood when I was a kid. I mean, the Catholic church was across the street. The grade school I grew up in was across the street from my house. So I'm Irish, as all Americans, we all think we're Irish, same as everybody in Boston. Yeah, I'm Irish. No, I'm American. But you know how we all kind of hang on to our, where somebody in our family was from. And I did Taekwondo and karate since I was 12 years old. So that's where I got the dragon end of it. And one guy just one day was like, Irish Dragon, doing a YouTube video, kind of like this. But it stuck. I didn't even want it. I was like, no, get out of here. Nobody's going to call me the Irish Dragon. And they kept calling me that. And before I knew it, when I fought for the other organizations, they started using it. So,
who have you looked up to in this sport coming along?
It's funny. I think my number one training partner right now is the guy that I always looked up to, George St. Pierre. I've always looked up to just a lot of guys. Greg Jackson and his whole camp out there that I finally get to train with, and now I feel like I'm there on the stage with them. Even guys like Danny Castillo, to be completely honest with you, all his camp, Team Alpha Male. I grew up Uriah Faber like this, and now I'm punching his teammate in the face. That's how it works. I still respect all those guys, and hope I can drink a beer with them tonight.
Can you talk about just how did you get this fight? I know it's about a text message or something. Can you go through that?
I was in the BMF van in New Mexico, and we were driving around. I was trolling through Instagram, bored out of my mind, like we do every day, all of us. And I think it was UFC. One of the UFC sites said, Rustam out, who wants to fight Danny Castillo? And I talked to everybody in the van, and I'm like, should I just text Joe and be like, Castillo? And I literally did that. I wrote Castillo, and he's like, you want it instead of Johnny Case? And I was like, yeah, I want that. That's not that I don't want to fight Johnny Case. It's a tough, awesome fight, but this gets me this. And here we are. So, worked out.
How quick was the reply?
Immediate. I got him in between flights. He was literally, I forget where he was going, but him and Dana, I think, were going somewhere. And he just got me. My manager got a hold of him, and Cowboy helped out. Called me a few phone calls, and he's like, this kid belongs there. And we got the fight. So the whole crew in Albuquerque kind of have to thank for this, for everybody being like, yeah, take that fight, take that. I'm like, really, you guys think I could beat him? And they're like, yes. So we took it. We knew it would be tough, but they were all confident that it was a fight that we could win. So here we are.
Thanks, bro.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Congrats, man.